Welcome back to the channel, everybody. It's EricRayweather back here with, yes, another Madden 22 update. I know you probably don't believe me, but it's true. Now, of course, we have the typical roster update to go over, which is huge this week, but there's also been an emergency title update that has fixed a few things that literally just dropped a few minutes ago, so I'm glad it dropped before I recorded this video so that I could add the information in. Now, we did get a huge update a few days ago that brought a lot of stuff to gameplay, to scouting, also player likeness. I did two separate videos on this because it was so much stuff in these updates. I will link them below in the pinned comments. If you've missed out on any of them, you can go check all the things that were updated. But in this video, I'm going to let you know about what was updated today. So we're going to get into the roster update, of course, in a minute, but I first want to go over the emergency title update that came out that fixed a few issues, or at least it says it fixed a few issues, but it's EA, so you never really know. So the first thing they posted here on their forums, it said that they addressed an issue where players were experiencing crashing when selecting certain formations. Now, with the update that just happened a few days ago, probably the worst title update that we've ever seen in Madden. And I know I said that about the last one, but this new one takes the cake. Now, that's not to say that they didn't add a lot of good things. That's not to say that they didn't do a lot of good things or fix things that needed to be fixed. The problem is, after they implemented this update, we've been seeing a ton of crashing going on for a bunch of different reasons in the game. So it's really hard to even finish online games. If you select certain formations, it'll kick you out of the game. If you do certain types of hot routing or flipping with your formations, it freezes the game, which I believe that is still happening, which is awful. But they said that they addressed the issue that was causing the crashing when you selected certain formations. I think if you selected goal line, for example, the game would just crash. It would just like boot you back to the dashboard. I think this is just next gen only issue, but still, they said that they have fixed that, which means there probably still are other crashing issues in the game, because I've already seen people say that they're still crashing even after this emergency update, but it looks like they just fixed one of the crashing issues. There's still multiple others, which is just honestly just awful at this point. They also said they addressed the issue with custom playbooks and online head-to-head. Finally, this has been an issue since literally day one of the game. People have been crashing in regular online head-to-head. If you load into the game, if one of the people load into the game with a custom playbook, it would crash the entire game. Now, I had somebody already reach out to me and said that he tried it out and he still crashed when he went into a game with a custom playbook. So again, it's like you kind of have to take this with a grain of salt with EA. They'll say they fixed something and it won't actually be fixed. Maybe there's less crashing now than there was before, but someone already said that he still crashed as well. But with all of the different crashing issues in the game right now, it's really hard to know, what's making the game do that, because there's so many different ones. So just honestly awful right now. One of the good things that they did in this emergency update for next gen is they finally patched the RPO glitch. If you didn't know about it, basically, if you would pump fake the pass route on an RPO play, you could take off immediately with your QB, and the defense really wouldn't respond to you until you passed the line of scrimmage, so they would just kind of drop back and ignore you. And people have been abusing this online since day one. I'm not sure why it took them like 2 months to patch, but they finally did fix that. This one is confirmed. I tested out. You can no longer do the pump fake RPO glitch, so that is one good thing that came out of today's update. Now let's get into the weekly roster update, and this is another big one. Just like last week, just another huge update with a lot of players going up and down. We're going to go over the blog on EA's website first, as always, where we cover a few specific players that they touched on. Then we'll go over the entire main list of people that went up and down, and at the end, we're going to go over some of the rookies that went up. This is actually an update where a lot of rookies went up as well, which is always nice to see the young players showing out. So starting on EA's site, the first guy they touch on is Dawson Knox. Been killing it at tight end this year for the Bills. He's going up +4 to an 81 overall, so kind of an overcorrection. He was just way too low. He's been doing really good all year. It says here, the Bills tight end posted a season high 117 yards and his 5th touchdown in the last 4 games on Sunday against the Chiefs. Dawson Knox has become a go-to target for Josh Allen in the Buffalo passing game, and the Madden Ratings Adjusters team is bumping him up +4 overall points ahead of Week 6, making him an 81 overall. Next up, we got my guy, Joe Burrow. Been having a really good second year. He's going up 2 to an 80 overall. It says here, second-year quarterback Joe Burrow led the Bengals into an overtime battle against the Packers on Sunday. Ultimately, Cincinnati suffered the loss, but Burrow threw for 281 yards and 2 touchdown passes in the game. The Madden Ratings Adjuster is lifting Burrow's overall by 2 points ahead of Week 6, making him an 80 overall. The next guy up is Mike Williams, having a huge breakout year. He's going up +2 to an 85 overall. It says here that Mike Williams went nuclear on Sunday. He saw 16 targets, caught 8 passes, and racked up 165 yards and 2 scores. Williams and the Chargers QB Justin Herbert have a special connection, and it's been playing out in front of football fans on a weekly basis. Williams has 6 touchdowns on the season, and the Madden ratings adjuster team is taking note, bumping his overall +2 to an 85. Couple players they're touching on that's going down. First is Zach Ertz, going down 2 to a 79 overall. Last night played his last game for the Eagles. Today, earlier, he was traded to the Cardinals, which is actually a pretty big move because that's one position they really did need on offense as a decent tight end. And I think Zach Ertz is, he's still a decent enough player. He's not in his prime, but he's probably going to show out there with all the other weapons and with Kyler Murray, just making an already good team even better. It says here, in a game where Zach Ertz saw 6 targets, he only managed to catch 1 for 7 yards on Sunday. With the Eagles passing game struggling a bit, Ertz is not producing like the elite tight end football fans are used to seeing. As a result, the Madden ratings adjuster team is lowering Ertz overall -2 points, dropping him to a 79 overall ahead of week 6. The next guy is Allen Robinson, going down 2 to an 87 overall. It says here, it's been a tough season thus far for Bears #1 wideout Allen Robinson, who has just 181 yards and 1 touchdown on the season, and he's coming off a game where he posted a meager 4 for 32 and 0 touchdown line. Not all of the accountability falls on Robinson as the Bears passing game goes through some growing pains, but the Madden ratings adjuster team is dropping A-Rob -2 overall points to an 87 ahead of week 6. Now let's talk about the entire list of all of the notable players who are going up and going down. And the first guy, finally, Derrick Henry, +1 to a 97 overall. Now look, a lot of people thought he should have been a 99 coming into this year. I thought he probably should have been because he rushed for 2,000 yards, but I kind of understood their reasoning for why he wasn't a 99. But at this point, I just don't see there is any reason. There's no reason. If you look back at the last really 2.5 years so far of what he's done, he's probably going to break the rushing record this year, having the extra game. Not that he even really needs the extra game. He was close last year, but he's just racking up these yards every week. And I feel like any other running back at any other point in time that was putting up the yards that he put up would have been a 99 overall. So it's nice to see him bump up 1, but he really should just be a 99 already, in my opinion. Trent Williams goes up +1 to a 95 overall. Lamar Jackson finally back on the move, getting into that MVP conversation after just, a couple of really good games. He's +1 up to a 93 overall. Tyron Smith having a bounce back year. Not that he ever got bad, but he was kind of just going down a little bit. He wasn't like quite at his peak, but he's really bouncing back this year. This update, he goes up +2 to a 93 overall. Aaron Jones is going up +1 to a 92 overall. Jesse Bates is also going up +1 to a 92. Harrison Smith finally back going up. He's +1 to a 91 overall. Casey Hayward Jr. seems to be going up just about every week. He's +1 to a 90 overall. Same for Cooper Kupp, pretty much is going up every week. He's also +1 to a 90. Dak Prescott having his best season yet so far, going up +1 to a 90 as well. Ezekiel Elliott's been putting together some good games lately. He's going up +2 to a 90 overall. Kevin Byard's going up +1 to a 90 overall. Mark Andrews went absolutely nuclear, game of his career last week. He gave me like 50 points in my fantasy league. Just a ridiculous game. He's going up +2, now officially in the 90 overall club for the first time. He's definitely one of the more elite tight ends in the league now. I don't think we really can deny it anymore. Shaquille Barrett's going up +2 to a 90 overall as well. DK Metcalf back on the move up, going +1 to a 89 overall. Darius Slay Jr. also +1 to a 89. Josh Allen finally going up. He's finally moving in the right direction. He's +1 to a 89 overall. This is the highest overall he's ever been, and I'm pretty sure he's going to be in the 90s pretty soon. He should be already, in my opinion, but he's finally going up for the first time this year. Antonio Brown has been going up almost every week. Looks like he's really back to his old self. Had another good game last night, so he's probably going to go up next week as well. But for this update, he's +1 to a 88 overall. Second-year player Justin Jefferson is also +1 to a 88. My guy Marshawn Lattimore finally getting love. He's been playing his best season so far of his career, in my opinion. Finally going up +1 to an 88 overall. Matthew Judon's going up +2 to a 87 overall. Eric Armstead is +2 to a 86 overall. Hassan Reddick +1 to a 86 overall. DJ Reader +2 to a 85 overall. Jonathan Taylor continuing to go up +1 to a 85 overall. Justin Herbert, second year, tearing it up in the MVP convo. He's been going up every week over the past few weeks. He's up +1 for another week, now to an 85 overall. Taylor Lewan is +1 to an 84 overall. Emmanuel Sanders +1 to an 83 overall. Matt Ryan is also +1 to an 83. Harold Landry +1 to an 82 overall. Marquise Brown +1 to an 82 as well. Jamel Dean is +1 to an 81 overall. David Njoku is +1 to an 80 overall after the big game he had last week. He also went up +1 in speed to 86 speed, which is a pretty big deal. I believe Antonio Brown also got a speed increase +1 this week as well. I forgot to mention that. Everson Griffin's starting to bounce back. He's +3 this week to an 80 overall. Leonard Fournette putting together some good games. He's +1 to an 80 overall. Trayvon Diggs just getting interceptions every single week. It's actually just incredible at this point, leading the league in interceptions. His biggest jump yet, +3, now officially an 80 overall. Another young cornerback, AJ Terrell, goes up +2 to a 79 overall. Calais Claypool +1 to a 79 overall. And Cordell Patterson going up +1 to a 79 overall. Feel like he should be a little bit higher though. Now let's talk about those players that are going down. So Tom Brady is going down 1 to a 98 overall. He bumped up a couple points last week because he broke the passing record. I said he'd probably come down to a 98 this week, which he did, which was expected. Darren Waller going down 1 to a 92 overall. Xavier Howard's not having the greatest year so far. He's going down 1 to a 90 overall. Chris Jones is down 1 to a 89 overall. Devin McCourty is going down 3 to an 89 overall. He's finally starting to, I guess age catching up with him a little bit. We've got Michael Pierce down 1 to 89 overall. Deshaun Watson, here they go with people that just aren't playing, down 2 to 88 overall. James Bradbury's going down 2 to 88 as well. Saquon Barkley also going down 2 to an 88, which I don't agree with. He just came off of a big game, probably the best game of the season. Then last week he gets hurt, so I just don't understand why he's going down. We've got Adam Thielen going down 1 to 87 overall. Byron Jones also going down 1 to 87. Melvin Ingram is down 2 to 85 overall. Kenny Galladay down 1 to 84 overall. Kyle Fuller is also down 1 to 84. Devontae Parker is down 1 to 83 overall. Jason Pierre-Paul also down 1 to an 83. CJ Gardner-Johnson is down 1 to an 82 overall. Derek Carr is also down 1 to an 82. Marvin Jones is also down 1 to an 82. Clyde Edwards-Helaire is going down 1 to an 81 overall. Juju Smith-Schuster also down 1 to an 81. Joe Hayden is down 1 to an 80 overall. And Mason Crosby missed like a million field goals last week. Still wound up winning the game, but he's going down 1 to a 78 overall. And honestly, this week, a ton of punters and kickers went up and down. I'm not really sure why, but they just adjusted a ton of punters and kickers this week. So check your teams. Your punter or your kicker was likely adjusted for most teams. Now let's talk about the rookies. Ton of rookies getting love this week. I couldn't find any that were going down, but a lot of them are going up. Jamar Chase, of course, front runner for the rookie of the year right now. I would say you probably have Najee Harris right behind him. Those are like the two guys to me that are really showing out the most right now. None of the quarterbacks have really been wowing anybody just yet, but there's still a lot of time left. But anyway, Jamar Chase is +1 to a 79 overall. I feel like he should be in the 80s at this point with how good he's been playing. Devontae Smith up 1 to a 78 overall. He's been having a pretty good season as well. Micah Parsons is +1 to a 78 overall. He seems to be going up most weeks. We've got Najee Harris +1 to a 78 overall. Javonte Williams +2 to a 78 overall. I don't know exactly how you say this guy's name. I think it's Jeremiah Owusu for the Browns. He's been playing very well, +1 to a 76 overall. We got Odafe Owe, I think that's how you say his name, for the Ravens. He's been balling out for sure, +2 to a 75 overall. Kadarius Toney just lit it up last week, 180 yards, going crazy. Definitely a weapon that the Giants should have unleashed a little sooner, but I know they're going to keep unleashing him now going forward for sure. He's +2 to a 74 overall after last week. Elijah Vera Tucker is +1 to a 73 overall. Rondale Moore +1 to a 73 as well. We've got Pete Werner +2 to a 72 overall. I think he had like 13 tackles last week. He's been playing pretty well for the Saints. Gregory Rousseau +2 to a 71 overall. Had that crazy pick for the Bills last week. Alex Leatherwood, I know he's been having a bad year so far, and I don't really know what he did last week. I know they've been moving him around, but he must have had a good week because he's going up +2 to a 71 overall. Elijah Mitchell of the Niners, I believe the running back, he's up +1 to a 71 overall. Paulson Adebo is +1 to a 69 overall. And Davis Mills, the QB filling in for those Texans with all the guys down, he's up +1 to a 66 overall. Hope you enjoyed this video. Check out some of these other videos up here on screen. And as always, I will see you guys next time.